look, I know you've seen the headlines. You're scrolling through some dark corner of the internet and a guy whose avatar is just an egg tells you BRICS is coming. The dollar is finished. Buy gold, buy crypto, buy my survival seeds. And it's terrifying. This big scary club, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now they've invited their new friends like Iran and the UAE to the party. It sounds like a geopolitical Avengers, if the Avengers' only superpowers were crushing dissent and arguing about commodity prices. They're all standing together at summits, looking very serious, and they're all saying, we are going to end the tyranny of the US dollar. But here's the thing, when you actually look at their plan to replace the dollar, it's not a plan. It's the financial equivalent of 5 guys in a bar saying, hey, we should totally start a band. But nobody plays an instrument and they all hate each other's music. The idea that this group is going to topple the US dollar isn't just wrong, it's spectacularly, hilariously wrong. First, let's talk about liquidity, which is a boring finance word that just means, can I sell this thing right now for the price I think it's worth? The US Treasury market, where people buy and sell American government debt, is the deepest, most liquid financial market in human history. It's a $28 trillion monster. On a slow day, over $900 billion trades hands. It's not a market, it's a global ocean. You can park a financial aircraft carrier in it and it doesn't even make a ripple. You know, when the entire world completely freaked out in March 2020, where did everyone run? They didn't run to the yuan, they didn't run to the ruble. They ran, screaming, to the safety of US treasuries. Now, what are the BRICS offering? China's market? It's big, sure, but it's also wrapped in more capital controls than a paranoid billionaire's panic room. Getting your money in, that's one thing. Getting it out is a whole other adventure. And then Russia's market? It's basically a going out of business sale where the building is on fire and the doors are locked. The combined bond markets of all the other BRICS nations are just tiny, illiquid puddles by comparison. You can't replace the Pacific Ocean with a series of inflatable kiddie pools. And then there's the small matter of the actual money. A reserve currency is supposed to be stable. It's the boring, reliable mattress that you stuff your global savings into. The US dollar? Yeah, our inflation at 3% isn't great. We can be mad about that. But look at the competition. Russia, 7.4% inflation. To stop their currency from becoming toilet paper, they just cranked up their interest rates to 21%. That's not monetary policy, that's a financial cry for help. South Africa, 5.9% inflation. India, 5.1%. Brazil, 4.5% inflation. Their currencies are about as stable as a Jenga tower during an earthquake. And it gets worse. They can't even agree on what to do. A single currency, or even a coordinated basket, needs a single interest rate. But right now, China is lowering its rates to save its imploding property market. Russia is jacking up its rates to stop the ruble from evaporating. And India is raising theirs also. They aren't a team. They're the cast of a reality show forced to live in the same house. Russia and South Africa, they love high oil and commodity prices because they sell that stuff. China and India despise high prices because they gotta buy it. Their economies are not aligned. They are actively at war with each other. A BRICS currency is a structural impossibility. Then we get to the ugly part. Why is the dollar the reserve currency? Is it because our economic policy is always brilliant? No, definitely not. It's about trust and power. When you buy a US Treasury bond, you are 99.9% sure that the US government won't just wake up one day and say, you know what, that's our money now. Why? Because we have courts, property rights, and a mostly independent legal system. It's boring, but it's predictable. Now, do you want to park $1 trillion in China? A country that can make its most famous billionaire disappear for 3 months because he gave the wrong speech? Or Russia, whose legal system is just a flowchart that always ends with, what does Vladimir Putin want? The ease of doing business ranking tells the whole story. The US is 8th on that list. China is 31st. India is 63rd. And Brazil is 124th. They rank somewhere between active war zone and literally the surface of the sun. And finally, there's the bouncer. The dollar isn't just backed by the full faith and credit of the US Treasury, it's backed by 11 aircraft carrier strike groups. It's backed by hundreds of military bases around the globe. That's the military financial nexus. It's the unspoken threat that says, you know, you can trade in whatever currency you want, but wouldn't it be easier and safer to just use our dollars? What's the BRICS military alliance? Russia's army, which is currently being held to a standstill by a country a fraction of its size? It's not a contest. So look, is the dollar perfect? God, no. But is it being replaced by this chaotic, dysfunctional group of rivals who can't even agree on lunch? Absolutely not. And here's the perfectly absurd mic drop. The biggest, scariest, and most futuristic innovation in finance is cryptocurrency, right? This new age tech is designed to destroy the old system. Well, the fastest growing part of the crypto world is stable coins, digital tokens people use to trade. Well, in 2024, stable coins processed nearly $28 trillion in transactions, surpassing both Visa and MasterCard combined. And what are 99% of those stable coins pegged to? What are they a digital substitute for? That's right, the US dollar. The brand new, decentralized Finance 2.0 revolution is just a high-tech delivery system for the same old buck. We're not even trying and we're still winning. So what should you do? Well, stop listening to those TikTok scammers, first of all. The dollar isn't going anywhere. And maybe, just maybe, worry about our own debt and political dysfunction. That's the only thing that could actually kill the dollar, and that's an inside job. So is the dollar perfect? Hell no. We've got inflation, we've got debt, we've got politicians who think the national budget is a suggestion, but compared to the alternative, not even close. The dollar is like that old pickup truck that's been in your family for 30 years. Yeah, it makes weird noises, the paint is peeling, and sometimes it doesn't start on the first try, but it still gets you where you need to go. And more importantly, it's not going to randomly explode like your neighbor's innovative electric scooter. But here's the thing, and pay attention because this is important. Just because the dollar isn't getting dethroned doesn't mean it's getting stronger. Every single day, your dollars are quietly, politely losing purchasing power. It's not dramatic. There's no alarm bells. It's just happening, like watching paint dry, except the paint is your savings account. The Federal Reserve has literally told you their plan, 2% inflation forever. That's their target. They're not trying to hide it. They're basically saying, hey, we're gonna make your money worth 2% less every year, and we think that's good for you. So here's what the smart money does, and I mean the really smart money. They don't fight the system. They don't buy survival seeds or hide gold bars in their backyard like some financial doomsday prepper. They use the system's own rules against it. Here's the play. You borrow the depreciating asset, the dollar, at these artificially low interest rates, and you use it to buy appreciating assets that throw off income every month, like real estate, income property. I mean, think about it. You're borrowing money that's getting cheaper every year due to inflation, and you're using it to buy something that's getting more valuable every year, while tenants pay you rent to cover the mortgage. It's like financial Aikido. You're not fighting the force, you're redirecting it. But I know what you're thinking. Great idea, genius, but I don't have time to become a real estate mogul. I don't know how to analyze deals. I don't want to unclog toilets at midnight. And honestly, the whole thing sounds like a second job I don't want. Fair enough. That's exactly why I made this next video right here for you. I'm going to show you how to get into income producing real estate, even if you are short on time, know-how, or the desire to become a landlord. Because while the dollar might be unbeatable on the global stage, that doesn't mean you should just sit there and let it slowly pickpocket your future. So I'll see you over here, or I'll just see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.